yesterday, Goran Dragić posted a goodbye to Heat Nation, and it made me sad.
Now, I'll buy that, especially with him and you. Okay? I'll buy that. I'm not buying the twinkle thing.
He wrote yesterday, Miami, thank you for all the love and kindness and support over these last 7 years. Crazy, 7 years, man.
7 years is a long time with the Heat.
You embraced me and my family like one of your own from day one, and we are forever grateful for the life that we've built, the friends that we've made, and the experiences we've shared as part of the 305. We will never forget you, Heat Nation, and we will all see you soon. Heart emoji, heart emoji.
Did you see the twinkle in my eye when you read that?
That just got me sad.
That was the twinkle of disgust.
That got me sad, man.
I would say this.
What do you think he means by see us soon? You think he's going to bring us Luka?
No. I think Dallas plays the Heat.
Ooh, really? Oh, you mean like in the finals or just in general?
Or just like see you soon, man. Like it doesn't mean anything. Why can't it just be like, see you around?
Schmeeth and Schmolik says Tobin is right. 2 Dolphins greats don't use words to speak. They communicate with echolocation.
This guy. I'm telling you. This guy.
That's a point.
This guy.
Point for Twitcher.
I'm telling you. You see what you started?
What did I start?
This is your fault.
No.
This is a conversation. These last 2 segments have been built on lies. We've been had. We've been hoodwinked. Run amok.
Goran's statement got me right here, Leroy. It got me right here. And the picture of him.
You're a big fan now.
And of course, the picture I sent you guys yesterday. I mean, it's just an adorable.
Was him and
that was him and you. That was UD's goodbye to him.
That was UD's picture.
UD put a collage of him, and it just says Brate, and Brate is brother in Slovenian. So everybody is Gogi refers to his teammates as my Brate.
Look,
I know Slovenian.
I will say this: there hasn't been a Heat player that pretty much everybody loved in a while. For that long period of time, other than D Wade, UD, but Goran was one of those guys.
Yep.
Goran, just the way he handled himself, his personality, and then he backed it up with his play.
Goran responded to UD.
So, yeah.
Goran responded to UD and said, I love you, Brate, the best captain in the league. That gave me the goosies and also the saddies.
Look, dude, you can't get goosies for everything.
What are you looking at me like that, Marcos?
You know what you sound? You sound soft.
Reflecting.
If everything giving you the goosies, soft.
I'm not south. I'm not south.
South.
I'm not south. All right? Goran is gone, and I'm sad.
Okay, well, what about the Dan Marino thing that gave you the goosies?
All right, dude. Well, I've had, multiple people here now say that I'm right, and you're the only one holding out on me because you like to disagree with me.
Really?
You're holding the fort. Right now.
Nobody on this show agreed with you.
All right, well, Dan Day does, and so does
Robbie. He's not on this show.
And so does Robbie, who used to be on the show. His Crocs are in the rafters.
He's not agreeing with you.
Robbie's lying to you.
He's not agreeing with you. He's disagreeing with me.
Dude, I'm gonna go talk to more people and see if they see a twinkle in Dan Marino's eye. But
talk to Danny.
You should. Somebody said that was a gnat that flew in his eye.
Dude, I'm gonna miss Gogi. I'm gonna miss him.
I know, man. We like Gogi. We like. I mean, is there anybody that celebrates a Gogi interview more than us?
The best. He was the best.
You have to be.
Every interview was great.
Remember,
like, what are the gems we've got? We got hand down, man down from him. We had him. We had him talking mad bleep to Australia in one interview. We had an interview where we taught Gogi talking mad bleep to Philly. The interview where he talked about, we had him fresh off the Euros. I mean, he was just that we had him fresh off Slovenia night, and he was teaching us about Slovenian celebrations. Ha ha ha! And he's saying
that was cool.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm gonna miss him. My brate. Adio. That's how you say goodbye in Spanish, Leroy. I mean in Slovenian.
I was going to say, I don't know much Spanish, but I know that
No,
don't combine Spanish.
Adios is Slovenian.
No.
Okay.
No, to say goodbye in Slovenian, adio. I know that because he taught Jimmy Butler Slovenian, and Jimmy was adio.
Who's he going to use it with?
Now, nobody. I think he's going to learn Turkish from Omer.
Well, let's get him into the big leagues first.
I think he's ready, dude. I think he's ready. I've seen enough.
And you know this based on one game?
I mean, it's a really good game.
You know everybody balls in G League.
Not everybody, not like that.
With 10 fouls, I'm hacking. I'm hacking everything that move.
Let's get to this. So, some national reaction. Haven't heard much of this. The pundits, if you will, about the Heat's trades. Now, Zach Lowe, he is the senior NBA reporter and writer for ESPN. He hosts a podcast very popular called The Low Post. And he gives his thoughts on the Miami Heat acquisitions. Here's a little bit of Zach Lowe on Low Post.
Anyway, let's start with the Miami Heat in the East, who signed and traded for Kyle Lowry, re-signed Duncan Robinson, signed PJ Tucker with the mid-level exception, and re-signed a couple of role players. KP, the Tucker one was especially a nice capper to the day because I really like the Lowry, Robinson, Bam, Butler foursome, and you can throw Herro in there for Robinson on whatever night that Herro happens to be on. By the way, I think Tyler Herro, people are a little too low on Tyler Herro. I saw in your evaluation of what the Heat's doing, a breakout year for Tyler Herro could really change how we feel about the Heat next year. And I agree with that. Development isn't always linear. Tyler Herro took maybe a slight step back last year, which I think disappointed people given his play in the bubble. He could take a bigger step forward next year, and that changes everything for the Heat. But to me, I said it on TV in the middle of the day. Once Lowry was there, I love Kyle Lowry. Everyone knows I love Kyle Lowry. Build the dude a statue, and the statue should be taking a charge in front of the Air Canada Center.
I like that. And by the way, I think he's right. I feel like so much has been made over these last couple of days about the Heat signing a bunch of old guys and investing a 5-year extension. First of all, you have to give Jimmy Butler the extension. I don't know. I don't understand the hesitance with this. You know, everybody is getting extension money. And the other thing is, a lot of the team with a lot of the problems with Jimmy Butler have stemmed with other franchises, with franchises not believing in Jimmy Butler. Guy took you to the finals. He had a tremendous, you could argue, an even better regular season last year. An awful 4 games in the playoffs. Maybe bought into his own bleep a little bit with the playoff Jimmy, just get me there. So that wasn't a great look, but it doesn't, I think, take away with how great an individual season that he had, where he had the Rona, by the way, in the middle of it. Had basically no break. Had 2 days off before the next season, and the year before that, led you to the finals and outplayed LeBron James statistically in that finals, where he lost Goran Dragić, he lost Bam for half of the series. Bam was playing with one arm. So I don't understand the questions with Jimmy, but with all the contracts that we see thrown out there,
I didn't hear any questions about Jimmy Butler.
Oh, nationally, I've definitely seen a lot of that. A lot of the Heat have invested too old. Kyle Lowry. I've seen more people hesitant about Jimmy Butler getting the extension than Kyle Lowry getting his getting 3 years, which is weird to me off a year where, Chris Paul, they're like, Chris Paul gets to the finals, like, oh, you have to give him the extension, but Jimmy Butler, you don't? That's weird. He just doesn't, it's weird the lack of respect the guy just continually gets. I find it very strange.
That the bar in which he is judged on, it should be a different bar than what other team stars are because of what he does on the basketball court. It's different. You know what I mean? It's not, I'm going to put you 25, 30 a night. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It varies from night to night. And it works well with what this team does. And that's the most important thing. But your team and what you mean to your team is what determines a lot of your compensation with your own franchise. Mm-hmm. And so, anybody could go out and sign the guy that's going to score 25, 30 on a given night. So anybody would sign Devin Booker or anybody would do this. But you have 2 situations this offseason. You have Chris Paul and you have Jimmy Butler. And Phoenix knows what his impact has been to Phoenix.
Of course.
And the Heat know what Jimmy Butler's impact has been for the Heat.
Yep.
Unlike any other team. So when those teams give them that big money, if you're on the outside looking in, the only thing you're looking at are the numbers, and you go, why? But those teams know. They know their importance.
And I also think that Zach makes a good point about the Tyler thing. Like, you know, with this team and how good they're going to be, like, first of all, there's been very little mention of Bam Adebayo, who is arguably the most talented player on the team, and he's 24 years old. And everybody assumes that all these other young guys get better and that Bam's not going to. I think that's a silly thing to overlook.
Here's the only reason why. Is because some of the other things that Bam can do on the court, nationally, they haven't really seen him do them. And so if you're looking at the Heat team and you're looking at what Tyler can do, you've seen what Tyler can do. You know what Jimmy can do. You know what Dunks can do. But Bam is still growing, and the finished product isn't there yet. And what is asked of him as an offensive player isn't there yet. So you can't see that and how that's going to fit. But again, the Heat can.
But look at this improvement that he's made where most of his regular seasons have been with Kendrick Nunn as a starting point guard. And that's not, I like Kendrick Nunn. It's not a slight, but Kyle Lowry.
You just threw him under the bus.
But Kyle Lowry's a much better player than him. Like, that's. Okay,
but you didn't have to throw Kendrick Nunn under the bus.
That's fair. I didn't have to. I defended him earlier in the show today because I felt like Heat fans were way too hard on him. But I think that's a big piece of the puzzle. What Kyle Lowry's going to do for Bam.
Here's the biggest thing that the Heat have done. They have created a defensive juggernaut so that regardless of what happens, whether you score or not, you're going to be in every game. And so that's the starting point. You have the offense. You have guys that can make the three. You have guys that can take guys to the rim. You have guys that can shoot now. Okay? But what you did was when you look at the way Milwaukee plays and you look at the way you can even use not Washington, but Philadelphia, the way they play, and you look at the way the Nets are going to play. When you look at those, you need some dogs up front. You need some dogs on the wings. Yep. To be able to be a hindrance to all that scoring. You need somebody in the paint that's going to be able to, get after Joel Embiid. Because, look, we've seen enough basketball for him to know if he gets frustrated by the wrong guy, he ain't going to do nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but they feel like, I got to be honest with you, because they kind of go up and down these waves. I feel like they're heading for another disaster season because I do too. Because that Ben Simmons thing is gonna reap its head.
I think the franchise and other players on the team have soured on Ben Simmons, and it's not. Yeah. And here's the problem: the only thing that's gonna fix it is games. Yep. Like until you see him actually progress in these games, taking jump shots, making free throws, until you actually see them do this. You have so many years to where he just didn't improve.
I do want to mention this. So, Goran Dragić, I just saw this come across Twitter, Leroy. This is interesting. Gogi on Slovenian TV. This is from Istok Franco. Okay? And I guess he covers the Mavs. He says, on Slovenian TV, in an interview about a trade with Toronto, Goran said, quote, "I haven't heard from Toronto yet. I'm still waiting for the news. Everything depends on the third team. We'll have the news in the next few days." Interesting. So I guess it's basically saying who is Dallas gonna trade to Toronto for Gogi?
Oh, so you think he's gonna end up in Dallas?
I would bet a box of empanadas that he's going to Dallas.
Really?
To whoever wants to take that action. Yeah, it's just. First of all, they didn't. They missed out on. There were Kyle Lowry rumors with them too. They need a point guard, and especially one that of his talents And there's all those.
Nobody ever questioned his talent.
There's also they saw that their assistant coach, because remember they got a new coach this year. Who did they end up? Did they end up with Jason Kidd? Is that where he ended up? I think he did.
No.
Yeah, I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah, I think he did. Did he end up with them? Why am I blanking on this now? Yeah, Jason Kidd's the head coach of the Mavs now. Yes. They hired Igor Kokoshkov, who is, of course, the Slovenian coach for Luka and Goran when they won Euros. And there were those rumblings in the offseason. Luka's not long for Dallas, that he's not been happy with things around there. You also have the whole maybe there's a beef with Kristaps Porzingis. Man, they are going to be super Euro over there. Woo. But I think it's a good move. Like you kind of you bring in like the Slovenian sensei to Luka Doncic. Just kind of a guy who can keep him cool if there's any beef with Porzingis, but is also going to like tell him, hey, buddy, you're the guy. So I got to think he's going to end up on Dallas. I would have thought the Lakers would have been a fit too, but I feel like their cap maneuverability with that, I don't think they have any moves to make that happen now, unless Goran wanted to get bought out, which I don't think is going to happen. So, yeah, I would guess that he's going to end up going to Dallas.
All right,
I would see. Here's a little bit more. We played this earlier for you, but Zach Lowe of the Low Post, very high on the Heat's moves, very high on Kyle. He's a big Kyle Lowry fan, so he loves his game.
Oh yeah, he's a big Kyle Lowry.
Big Kyle Lowry guy. But we played some of his praise. Here's a little bit more of Zach Lowe on what he thought of the Heat's free agent period.
I like this Heat team a lot. I think Lowry, Bam, and Butler are going to make... I mean, think about... Kyle is a great pick and roll player, but the soul of Kyle Lowry is not high pick and rolls, even though he's good at it. The soul of Kyle Lowry is like all the random stuff he does in like the dead zone of the floor, like 20 feet and in, give and goes, random screens for people, just little cuts here and there. And like that's where Jimmy Butler and Bam live, and their collective IQ in those spaces, they're going to make magic in that kind of area. And Duncan Robinson has really grown as like a 1 and 2 dribble pick and roll ball handler. His handoff game with Bam is like lethal.
We know.
He's going to draw two guys 25 feet from the rim, slip a pass to Bam, and Bam's going to have a 4-on-3 with all that creativity around him. And yeah, the spacing might not be great with PJ Tucker on the floor. I think they're going to be a really solid team and tough and nasty and not fun to play at all. I like what they did. Look, Pat Riley, future be damned. I like it. Let's go for it. Let's have fun. That's what I say.
And plus, he was able to use one of the maneuver to the picks. That's typically something you got to add a pick to. I mean, listen, they kind of did. They added Precious Achiuwa, who was their first-round pick last year. I'm with you, I mean, like last year we were talking about this trade for Kyle Lowry was probably going to cost Duncan Robinson. It probably, like, Masai Ujiri was very, and I think the word was Masai wanted Tyler Herro too, or Precious and Duncan. Like he wanted two of the Heat's young pieces. Ends up costing them one, and probably if they weren't. Look, if Goran wasn't in this deal, I don't know if they're picking up the team option. I don't know if he's going to be back. So
Right.
it ends up asset wise, you really don't give up much for Kyle Lowry, and he didn't really have a lot of wear and tear because he kind of took off the second half of last year. So it's a good spot in that regard too. But I think what's not spoken enough, because the names are the old guys like Jimmy and Lowry are the guys that are known. PJ Tucker, old as hell, and they're known, and everybody loves having a PJ Tucker on a team. And listen, the numbers he had defensively last year in the playoffs, very impressive with what guys were shooting against him. I mean, he was no fun. I mean, some of the stuff he was doing. Remember how mad Kevin Durant got against him last year in the playoffs?
Of course, and they're boys.
Yeah, I mean, he was so annoyed with him. He was so annoyed with PJ Tucker. Didn't shoot it great, but let's see if it bounces back.
He's a corner three guy.
That little short porch. And honestly, I mean, the thing I'm mostly encouraged by is I really just think that this is going to complement Bam a lot, and I really believe a lot of what the Heat's future is. Like, they need him to take the jump like a lot of these other guys do with their young guys. I think we know what Jimmy's going to be. I think we know what Kyle's going to bring to the table. We know what we at minimum expect from Bam. The question is, can he give a little bit more? And as Zach mentioned earlier when we played that clip beforehand, also Tyler. Like, this has been another thing is that's kind of gone unspoken because we all really thought he's a goner. He's not gonna be with this team, but now it appears that he is.
You certainly included him in all trades.
Guilty. I really did. But I thought that the Heat were probably going more big game hunting than they did, and that probably came down to availability because Bradley Beal didn't go anywhere, and for now, Dame Dolla's not going anywhere. Now you have your point guard, so I don't think you're going after Dame anyway. But for Tyler, now that Tyler is going to be here, yeah, I mean, like we can't rule out the fact that he's going to take a leap. He is having his first off season, and that year 3 is so important with first round picks. Like it's.
Here's the thing with Tyler. The first year he showed us the talent was there. The second year showed us that as he progresses in his career, hopefully he'll get more consistent with it. And it's just a maturation process that all these NBA players have to go through. Now it's a different level. Okay, so when you look at a person like LeBron or Kevin Durant, they didn't win their championships till they were mid to late 20s.
Did you?
To sit here and think that after year 3, Tyler's going to be the person he's going to be or the player he's going to be is a bit unfair. So it's good to see that he got off to a great start, slowed up a little bit, but there were some circumstances surrounding it. And now we just see where that goes from here.
Did you see? I just sent this to you, but did you see what Tyler posted on his Instagram?
Nope.
So remember we watched the video yesterday of
Still here?
What?
Was it still here?
No, it wasn't still here. So remember we watched the video yesterday of the kids at his camp, him defending the kids at his camp. So
Yeah.
I guess on HQ they were talking about it, and so the question was, do you question whether Tyler Herro was trying? And Tyler Herro responded to them, "These dudes are squares. LOL. Y'all just talk about anything," with a crying emoji and sleep emoji. And these dudes are Izzy Gutierrez, Bomani Jones, and Mike Golick Jr.
Well, like, yeah, man, what is he supposed to do? Swat him? It's a camp.
Oh, he swatted some of them. Some of those kids, he looked like Alonzo Mourning on.
Is that not the funniest thing? Is when
nothing's funnier than that. I don't care.
They swat the little kids.
Nothing's funnier than that to me. I love when a kid gets swatted.
Fonz used to hate me when he was younger. I'd take him to the basketball. I'd take him to the court, and we go play basketball, and I would just abuse him. And he'd go, "Hey, man, like, you're taller than me. This is supposed to happen.
Ain't no freebies.
I'm like, ain't no freebie. That's
ain't no
right.
freebies.
That's right. Everybody I tell you, you know what I used to tell him? Everybody don't get a trophy on this court.
This ain't no I-9.
I say everybody don't get a trophy. Now, he wants some get back.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Little balloon toss?
He's tall. He got some handles. And I'm like, I proved my point.